Jump up, hit that question mark box, grab the mushroom, grow to be twice your size. It's time. GameRanks brings you the top 10 new platformer games of 2015. Number 10, Ronin. Ronin is a turn-based action platformer that has stealth-based complex level design. Now, if you don't see that as high concept, I don't think that you're ever going to understand what high concept is. It's pretty cool. It was originally created for an itch.io cyberpunk game jam, and people liked the game so much the game's developer continued working on it. It started out as pixel art, it moved up to high-quality 2D art. It's a very cool-looking game. It's a very different concept as far as platforming goes. Some people find it a little bit weird, but generally it's pretty well-liked. Check it out. Number 9, Tembo the Badass Elephant. A lot of reviewers have called Tembo the Badass Elephant the successor to Sonic the Hedgehog. If I had to compare it to anything else, I would maybe say Donkey Kong Country or Rocket Knight Adventures. But really, are those that bad to be compared to? Because those are rock-solid platformers as well. I mean, there's definitely influence there from the Sonic games. I'm not going to say there isn't, but there is as much influence from the sort of quirky B-tier platformers as there is Sonic the Hedgehog. When I say B-tier, I don't mean bad. I mean, for whatever reason, didn't get as popular as Mario and Sonic. I mean, I just included Donkey Kong Country in that tier. That should say that I'm not talking about the quality of the game at all. There is a demo available of Tembo the Badass Elephant, so I would recommend downloading that, checking it out, and I think you'll be sold on it from that point forward. Number 8, Grow Home. For all the crap everybody gives Ubisoft, sometimes they really get it right. Child of Light is one of them, the Rayman series, and some others. Grow Home is one such game. With a very distinct minimalist low polygon count graphical style, you're tasked with oxygenating your home world by growing and climbing a star plant, which is basically a giant beanstalk, and harvesting its seeds. It's an open world platformer that does some pretty intense things as far as what you're looking at. The animation is all procedural, so it adapts to what you're doing right now, if you're at a weird angle or whatever, and there's some great mechanics. It's a really cool game. Number 7, N++. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for N++, but I would recommend looking it up. And I wouldn't normally say something like that, but the trailer is so ridiculously kinetic that for such a simplistic type of game, with fairly limited graphics in all honesty, I was really pulled in. It makes a number of very, very ideal-oriented statements. Among them is zero compromise. I don't know if you've played N or N+, or for that matter, have played N++, but these games are brutal. They are very hard, require machine precision. There's thousands of levels, literally thousands. And on top of that, there's a level editor. N++, quite frankly, on the PlayStation 4 is a revelation. Just go play it. Number 6, OlliOlli 2. Welcome to Ollywood, they say. Skateboard culture is not quite at the crossroads with gaming culture it used to be. That being said, from time to time a fantastic skate-oriented game does come out. This is that. This is a non-traditional platformer, something of an infinite runner, combined with Tony Hawk. The idea clearly is to get the highest score based on the amount of tricks and what kinds of tricks that you can pull off while dodging obstacles and going basically at a breakneck speed through ridiculous platforming levels. This would be difficult if you were able to go backwards, and you're not. OlliOlli 2 has received a pretty big graphical upgrade over the first. It's a very pretty game, it's a very fun game to be completely frank, but it's also a pretty technical game and not for casual players. It's worth your time. You really should spend a little bit of time with it at very least. Just see. It's interesting. I'm not saying it's the same thing as Mario, because it's not, but it is worth your time. Number 5, Trials Fusion Awesome Level Max. By now you have to know what Trials is, and Trials Fusion. And honestly, I think that they knew if they were adding any other adjectives that it would be ridiculous. So they made it ridiculous. In case by some random cosmic coincidence you haven't heard of it though, Trials is kind of like Excitebike, but exciting. I mean 2015 exciting. And Trials Fusion Awesome Level Max, it's exactly what you want it to be. It's the same type controls that you're used to, great level design as usual, and now you can ride fire-breathing unicorns. Now usually when people say something like that, you know something utterly ridiculous. They say, and I repeat, and then they repeat it. I'm not going to do that. You heard me, and that's exactly what you're getting in this awesome DLC for Trials Fusion. Actually, I'll repeat it. Fire-breathing unicorns. Number 4, Axiom Verge. Hey, do you like Metroid? And when I say Metroid, I mean like Metroid, or Metroid with super in front of it. Nothing after it. Yeah, that Metroid. Okay, did you like Contra and Bionic Commando? Because it incorporates elements of those into a Metroidvania. Something that makes this unique from the other millions of Metroidvania games that continuously come out all over the internet. every day is that a lot of critics actually agree that it's better than the games that inspired it. Am I saying it's better than Metroid and Super Metroid? I'm not really 100% sure, but if there's anything that will ever give it a run for its money, it's Axiom Verge. I am saying it's better than Contra, just to get that out there. Number 3, Trine 3. Trine 3 is the latest evolution of the Trine series. It actually is the first in the series to feature fully 3D gameplay, but it doesn't get too deep into that kind of thing. It retains most of the elements of the other two Trine games, the action role-playing platform style, mixing in some nice little puzzle elements as well. The Trine series fantasy setting is an interesting departure from a lot of platforming games. It also gives it a lot of possibilities that other games don't really have. I mean, other than Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse from back before you were born, you know, then. I'm so old. It helps to know more about it when you were there. I'm just trying to find that silver lining. Get it? Trine? It has some minor issues with it involving collision detection. It's not unforgivable though, it's still a lot of fun. And it's also probably one of the prettiest platformers you're gonna find. Number 2, Ori and the Blind Forest. Ori is a 2D open-world platform game. You could easily say Metroidvania, but indeed the concept of open world did come from 2D platform games, so you're welcome, current generation. Gameplay programmer David Clark described the team as being inspired by current and classic adventure games, notably Rayman and the Metroid franchises, what did I just say, and that Ori is intended as a love letter to those games, which is slightly unholy and probably illegal. Well, if it was literal, but it's probably a figurative love letter. You know, the popular adage. It being open world, obviously, is an homage to Metroid, and the art style environments are very much an homage to Rayman. Though its influences are prominently on display, the game doesn't really have to do a whole lot to stand out. Great level design and beautiful graphics. I mean, that's basically what you're asking for when you say, can you recommend me a platform game? And finally, number 1, Super Mario Maker. The first time I played video games, I played Super Mario Bros. And that was it. And while I am no longer 5 years old, a lot of games take me back to that time and give me that same sense of wonder. From Super Mario Bros. To Mario 3 to Mario World, I remember drawing levels for these games and saying, man, I would love to play this. Oh my god, you can now. A lot of Games Press goes out of its way to take a big dump on the Wii U. But in creating Super Mario Maker, they're creating something that so many people have wanted for so long, and whether it's directed by nostalgia or whether driven by the want to create in such a well-refined platform architecture, I don't care. I want Mario Maker. And I will say it just like that 5-year-old kid who wanted the next Mario game so badly. I really want Mario Maker. I am going to waste my life on this thing. I'm going to create, and I'm going to play other people's creations at such a rate that I may forget to eat. Now, it's not like there's just 10 good platformers this year, so we gave you a couple bonuses. Warlords vs. Shadows is an action platformer that a ton of people loved. Shantae Half Genie Hero is the latest incarnation of a really popular but often overlooked series. And Hot Tin Roof is a very stylized 3D noir-based platformer, starring a cat, so you should probably check those out as well. But one thing I absolutely positively wouldn't do is forget to click the like button on a video I enjoyed or found informative. Yes, I'm giving you the quiet nudge. In all honesty, thank you very much for doing that. If you're new around these parts, make sure you subscribe. Come back tomorrow too, because we upload new videos every single day of the week. And I don't mean to toot my own horn, which I'm not actually in any danger of because I don't actually own a horn, but if this YouTube channel were a horn, it'd be worth tooting on our part. Anyway, we really thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. We know you're probably busy with other things, people have lives, there's important stuff going on around you, and that's why we do our best. Have yourself an awesome day, and we will see you next time.